Здравствуйте. Good morning to all of you. Myself, Punit Gaur. I have done my PhD in Kazakhstan from Jawaharlal Nehru University, one of the leading university in India. Since last 10 years or so, I am researching on Central Asia as well as on Kazakhstan. It is a great honor to me that since last month I am teaching as visiting faculty at this university, Eurasian National University. Today, once again, I'm here for one more significant initiative taken by Eurasian National University called Winter School on the occasion of 25th years of independence of Republic of Kazakhstan, in which there will be a series of online lectures for the student of the university to learn about many various directions of Kazakhstan foreign policy. In this order of the series, today I will talk about India-Kazakhstan relation from the various perspective. India and Kazakhstan, as it is a known fact, are the two countries who possesses more common effects rather than uncommon. What I feel as a researcher over the years that both the countries have the multicultural as well as value-oriented society, as both the countries have the best example of multicultural society, where in India you can see that people speak more than 120 major languages and nearly 1600 other local languages. On the other hand, Kazakhstan has more than 130 ethnic groups. Kazakhstan promotes pluralism and secularism, and freedom of religion is enshrined in its constitutions. It shows the tolerance and assistance within different kind of peoples in their respective countries. Building a secular country is always a priority for Kazakhstan, especially after independence in 1991, and with the effort of their president Nazarbayev. This is important that they succeeded in it, as India, always known as a secular country in the world. Though it is a known fact that both the countries don't have direct land route, but it is the spirit of peoples from both the countries to make the way for affable and warm relation to each other. So far, as far as people to people contacts is concerned, we can say that we are very much approaching to success to meet out our potential in that context. This paper is particularly deliberate upon three perspectives. First, historical perspective, secondly, political, and thirdly, I will delve with the economical perspective in the context of the relation of India and Kazakhstan. First, I will start with the historical perspective. Relation between India and Kazakhstan go back to the several century when during the period of between 12th and 3rd century before Christ, Shaka tribes reached India from southern Kazakhstan. It was around 1000 BC that the Sakas stimulated southward up to the northern India. Kazakhs historians also talks about Yuchi tribes who were proto-Turks migrating southwards to the Indian peninsula. Archaeological evidences in the northwestern region of India in the middle of Harappa civilization exhibited substances of intertribal barter of goods already in ancient time. From Central Asia towns of Harappa civilization attained gems. There were discovered Harappa handicrafts in Central Asia also. It means there were processes of different goods exchange in Central Asia and Indian region before the passage of the Aryan in India. The recent research of archaeological remnants demonstrate that contacts between towns of Sindh River Valley and Central Asia and Kazakhstan settlement existed. These findings relate to the period of golden age of Harappa culture. Several items are similar with those of Harappa culture, like metal goods, beads made of fence, pottery, ivory, handicrafts from India, as well as the local item that had apparent sign of Indian influence were discovered in Central Asia. The Saka are considered by mainstream historians and linguists as being Indo-European who spoke a language of the Iranian branch of Indo-Iranian family of the Indo-European language. The two surviving modern languages closest to Sinkian are Ostian in Caucasus Mountain and Pashto in Afghanistan and Pakistan. The northern Iranian Aryan speakers, including Saka, were slowly overwhelmed by the Mongol-Turkic expansion in Central Asia, especially beginning in the 4th century. After that, despite significant deaths in the invention and further loss of population, as survivors moved to other areas, Saka and other ethnic groups formally speaking the northern Iranian language today, from an ethnic substratum of contemporary Central Asian Turkic people, including Kazakh. The Saka were also one of the several tribes that conquered India from the northwest, where they established the rule of Indo-Sectarian. The Indo-Sectarians were named Shaka in India, an extension on the name Saka used by Persian to designate sectarians. Shakas receive numerous mention in texts like Purans, the Manusmriti, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Mahabhashan of Patanjali, that Bharat Samhita of Varhamihir, the Kavya Mamasa. These are some epics who have always have these kind of Saka's tribe mentioned over there. The Birha Katha Manjari, the Katha Sarist Sagara, and several other old texts. Sakas are described as part of an amalgamation of other warlike tribes from northwest. Historians suggested that the second phase of contact between India and Central Asia took place during the period of ancient Turk, dating to the middle of the first millennia AD. The Turk, whose original home was Altai and the steppe of present-day Mongolia, slowly diffused southward into China, Iran, and northwest India. It is believed that the Tibetans, Tengus, Yugus, Mongols, and Karakitai expanded around this period. Buddhism had already arrived in the region of Hindu Kush and South Tarim. Many of these Turks who worshipped Tengri, means sky, also tried to introduce Buddhism among the nomadic people. However, it was later on around 300 400 AD that the Kushan, whose empire included present-day South Kazakhstan, began to patronize Buddhism, gradually spreading in it to Bactria, Tarim, and to northern China. The introduction of Buddhism in semi-rich and South Kazakhstan territory from an important and interesting subject of like India-Kazakhstan relation. Then the Silk Route played a seminal role in this cooperation, transporting not only commodities for trade, but more importantly, knowledge and ideas. The flow of Buddhism from India through Central Asia to China and the flow of these ideas of Sufism from Central Asia to India are two major examples of this phenomena. The benefit of such mutual beneficial cooperation were evident in the richness of not only trade, but more importantly, of societal exchange. The best discoveries and invention in the areas of astronomy, mathematics, medicine, surgery, and philosophy were exchanged along the Silk Road. Taraz city is now striving to identify itself with Mirza Muhammad Haider Duglati, who became the governor of Kashmir during the 16th century. Recently, a large monument of Haider Duglati has been built in front of University building, symbolizing that region in the home of Duglati tribe, to which is the great medieval Kazakh belonged. There are other important cities which is rich historical heritage like Kulan, Mirki, Aspara, which contributed towards the enrichment of Central Asian culture. The traces of cross-culture influence are still visible in the present-day culture scene of the region, more so in South Kazakhstan around the cities of Taraz and Semikhin. The impact of Indian, Persian, Turkic, and Chinese culture continue to manifest itself in the contemporary life and beliefs of the people of Central Asia. When it's come to Indian culture, the impact is can be seen more in depth, more deeper into the people's mind, into the people's heart. When we moved towards modern of contemporary perspective of relation, it become more political. So far as political perspective is concerned, it can be said that first PM of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, accompanied by Indira Gandhi, visited Almaty in 1995, become first political leader movement in modern times. After that, Dr. Radhakrishnan visited Kazakhstan in 1956 in his capacity as vice president. India was among the first country to recognize the independence of Kazakhstan. President Nursultan Nazarbayev's first official visit after Kazakhstan got independence was to India in 1992. It was a very pragmatic move by the president, which shows importance of New Delhi to Astana. Diplomatic relation was established in 1992 during the visit when an appropriate protocol was signed. The implementation of the protocol started by opening of the Embassy of India in Almaty in 1992 and subsequent establishment of the Embassy of Kazakhstan in New Delhi in 1993. Prime Minister of India, Shri Narasimha Rao, later on in 1993, visited Kazakhstan, which gave impetus to bilateral relations. President Nazarbayev visited several times in India in 1992, 1992, three in transit way, 1996, 2002, and 2009. But the very important and very pragmatic and practical way when he visited India in January 2009, when he was the chief guest at India's Republic Day celebration. And it was one of the landmark we can take in between India and Kazakhstan relation. After that, Vice President of India Shri K.R. Narayanan and Shri Hamid Ansari visited Kazakhstan in 1996 and 2008 respectively. Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Dr. Manmohan Singh visited Kazakhstan in June 2002 and in 2011. These high-level visits have laid a great foundation for close and friendly bilateral relation between the two countries. But it was the latest visit of Prime Minister of India Shri Narendra Modi in last year when both the countries gave a direction to this relation and signed several agreements during this visit, like the agreements on transfer of sentenced person, agreement of defense and military, where technical cooperation between Republic of India and Republic of Kazakhstan. There is a memorandum of understanding between Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports of Republic of India and Ministry of Culture and Sports of Republic of Kazakhstan on cooperation on physical culture and sports. There were memorandum of understanding between Ministry of Railway of Republic of India and the Kazakh Tamir Zol of Republic of Kazakhstan on technical cooperation in the field of railways. There were long-term contract between Department of Atomic Energy of Republic of India and JSC National Atomic Company, Kazatomprom, for sale and purchase of natural uranium concentrates. India and Kazakhstan actively cooperate under the aegis of multilateral fora, including SICA, SCO, and UN organization. India has been a consistent supporter of Kazakhstan initiative to convene conferences on interaction and confidence building measures in Asia and is actively participating in the process. Kazakhstan is supportive of India's permanent membership of UNSC and full membership of SCO. India also supported Kazakhstan candidature for non-permanent membership of UNSC for 2017-18, and Kazakhstan became the first ever Central Asian country to get the membership of UNSC. These are some um, kind of dimension of political perspective of India and Kazakhstan. Then I move to economic perspective. It is a known fact that India is among the 12th largest economy of the world, whose GDP exceed more than $1 trillion. India is now concerned as an emerging global power. It is a prediction that by the 2025, India may have the third largest GDP in the world after China and United States. The high rates of social economic development become the fundamental achievement of the Indian state and society. India is widely known for its achievement in the sphere of high technology, especially in aerospace, nuclear energy, and software. On the other hand, as a country leading the region in terms of social and economic growth, Kazakhstan could play a key role in the region, turning Central Asia into an economical, viable, and independent region. It could drive and facilitate a dialogue with multinational corporations and incite international investors to develop the entire Central Asian region. According to the World Bank, the annual report of status and freedom of entrepreneurship in 145 countries worldwide, Kazakhstan is in the fifth of seven group with countries such as Germany, Denmark, New Zealand, Switzerland, Singapore, and Georgia, which has the best result in the CIS. It intended to make further effort to obtain an even higher ranking. At this time, attracting investment capital to the economy of Republic is one of the higher priority tasks of the government. According to the experts' estimates, over 80% of all direct investment in Central Asia was made in Kazakhstan. The World Bank ranked Kazakhstan as one of the 20 most attractive countries in the world of investors. Foreign investors are becoming increasingly interested in the Kazakh market. Laws have been passed and steps have been taken which have contributed to enhancing the country's investment image and accordingly the inflow of foreign investment in its economy. As a result, Kazakhstan has been leading the CIS for a number of years in terms of FDI per capita. Trade and commerce are considered an important component of expanding multifaceted partnership between India and Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan offers an enormous amount of opportunity for trade and investment and vice versa. In recent years, there has been a significant promotion in export and import resulting in a huge total trade turnover. As it's evident from the data, Kazakhstan is India's largest trading partner in Central Asia. Bilateral trade during 2015 is nearly about 341 million US dollar. The export from India to Kazakhstan during the period amounted nearly about 100 million US dollar, and export from Kazakhstan to India were nearly about 240 million uh, US dollar. Major project exported to Kazakhstan: pharmaceuticals, tea, telephone equipments, tobacco, and construction machinery. Major projects imported to India are oil, uranium, asbestos, and titanium. According to Kazakh statistics, total foreign investment in Kazakhstan from India as on 2015 is USD 280 million dollar. Indian investment are in such as oil and gas, banking, engineering, tea packing, mining, pharmaceutical, restaurant, steel, travel agency, trading, ArcelorMittal, Temurete, Sun Group, KEC Limited, Punjab National Banks, and ONG Videsh Limited are among the major Indian-owned companies operating in Kazakhstan. The total investment of Kazakh companies in India is USD 35 million as on year of 2015. Kazakh investment are mainly in oil and gas sector and engineering, procurement and constructions contracts. An MOU for establishment of joint business councils was signed between FICCI and Chamber of International Commerce during the visit of Prime Minister of India on July 2015. The two countries closely collaborate in framework of INSTC as well as through bilateral initiative to improve surface connectivity. An agreement between ONGC Videsh Limited and Kaz Munai Gas on the purchase of 25% of stake in Satpev oil block in the Caspian Sea marked a new beginning in cooperation in the hydrocarbon sector. Two countries also signed a fresh contract for supply of natural uranium. Today, reality is such that there is an urgent need to establish closer cooperation within both the countries. India gives a special role in its foreign policy in the Central Asian region to the development of full-scale relationship with Kazakhstan and considered it not only as a serious trade partner but also as an important political one. Political stability, the high economy and scientific technical potential of the country, and attractive investment climate are the reason for this cooperation between both the countries. There are some very specific and significant field of cooperation where I will touch very briefly that medical. About 1700 Indian students are currently enrolled in various medical and other institutions in the different part of Kazakhstan like Almaty, Karaganda and Astana itself. Almost all of them are pursuing medical studies. Both the countries have great potential in that context in the field of medical tourism. Indian culture centers. Indian culture centers set up in 1994 in Almaty, Kazakhstan, with the objective of establishment, strengthening cultural relation between India and Kazakhstan. The when After that it is shifted to Astana in 2007 when the embassy also was relocated from Almaty to Astana. Since its inception from 1994, the Indian Culture Center has been engaged in various cultural activity, including conducting of yoga, dance and classes, Hindi classes especially, celebration of festival, organizing culture performance by student of the center, setting up of Indian study centers, screening on Indian films and documentaries, organizing performance by visiting Indian culture troops in Kazakhstan and Kazakh culture troops in India. The ICC also awards scholarship for higher studies in India universities under the Journal Culture Scholarship Scheme program of the Indian Council of Culture Relation, New Delhi. There was also one very significant program which is called ITEC from Indian Embassy, from the Indian government, Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program, popularly known as ITEC, was launched in 1964 as a bilateral program of assistance of the government of India. Since then, the program has evolved and now encompasses in its ambit a wide range of activities which include imparting training in India to nominees from ITEC partner countries, undertaking project and project related activities such as feasibility studies and consulting service, deputing Indian experts abroad to assist in development activities, conducting study tours of experts from partner countries to important institutions, training centers and other places of interest in India, presenting, donating equipment, and the requesting of ITEC partners, countries, and providing aid for disaster relief. Capacity building is one of the major activity under ITEC program. Professionals from developing countries are offered wide range of training courses in different centers of excellence in India. The entire expenditure of training under ITEC for category 1 countries borne by Government of India. Government of India bears the cost of air travel and expenditure on tuition fees, accommodation and study tours. Government of India also pays a living allowance to the trainee for the duration of the courses to meet other expenditure. And Kazakhstan has been India's ITEC partner since 1992. Since then, nearly 1,000 scholars from Kazakhstan availed the program. Government of India has allotted 40 slots for Kazakhstan for 2016 and 17. There will there was a joint army exercise also, which a can be a regular exercise in the future and become a very important sector to India-Kazakhstan relation. As part of India's continued effort to strengthen the Indo-Kazakhstan relation, troops of India and Kazakhstan army engaged in a joint exercise called Purple Dostak. The Indian army is being represented by platoon strength. The Kazakhstan army contingent comprised of platoons from Special Operating Forces Unit, a pioneering endeavor with the Kazakhstan army. The exercise has been conducted in the Karaganda region of Kazakhstan and recently concluded on September 2016. The primary aim of the 14-day exercise was enhance interoperability while undertaking counterterrorism and counterinsurgency operation in rural and semi-urban environment under the umbrella of United Nations. The exercise conducted in two stages. First stage was to familiarize with the each other's tactics, drills, weapons and equipments, whereas in second stage, troops of both the armies graduate to jointly execute a helicopter-borne operation in a simulated environment. Combat battle drills and physical fitness was the focal point of the exercise. Verbal dosted, meaning robust friendship, was a significant step towards fostering military as well as diplomatic ties between both the countries. It would be further betterment for the India-Kazakhstan relation if it will be become a regular exercise. And one of the main important factor in my concern is uranium. In an agreement reached while Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Kazakhstan, Central Asia's largest economy and the world's largest producer of uranium, will supply India with 5,000 metric tons of nuclear fuel in 2015 to 2019 period. Between 2010 and 2014, Kazakhstan supplied India with nearly about 2,100 metric tons of uranium. Kazakhstan produced 38% of the world's uranium, nearly about 22,000 metric tons in 2013, more than the next three top producers combined: Canada, Australia, and Niger. The country is also set to host the International Atomic Energy Agency Low Enriched Uranium Bank, a facility which will stockpile LEU used in civilian nuclear power reactor in order to assure supply to member should the experience and disruptions. So this is also one of the practical kind of field where India and Kazakhstan relation can go further heights. And two or more three is tourism. Bollywood, as you know, the Mithun Chakravarti and Avika Gaur, the Anandi of Balika Vadu, are very famous. There are several TV serials who are really very famous in Kazakhstan, and it would be becoming a very important factor for India Kazakhstan relation. In my conclusion, I just want to conclude with this paper that in my conclusion, I just want to highlight what the both countries are also thinking to reach out the potential. Both have what should be needed for it, and the joint declaration between both the countries, which took place at the time of visit of Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi. They called this joint declaration Tez Kadam. It means now both the leaders as well as the peoples of respective countries thinks that it is time to walk fast, do fast, implement fast as far as India-Kazakhstan bilateral relation is concerned. So thank you very much for me to give this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazira.